thing I wanted to get your opinion on, you mentioned him earlier on in this interview, Shakur Stevenson. Now, for me, this kid, I've been saying for years, he is built. He looks different, and when I say different, he looks like he's got them levels. Like I think Sam Jones said something on Twitter when he said he looks like he's got the spitefulness of a pretty boy Floyd and the brains of a money Mayweather. And I just thought, incredible fight. And to do that to a guy like Oscar Valdez, who, you know, you've seen some of the knockouts he's had, and you think he's gone in there and been like, I'll take that fight, and had every confidence in doing what he did, and knocks him down and wins comfortably. I mean, talk to me about Shakur Stevenson.
We're in our gym, we're massive fans of Shakur Stevenson, and you know, watched him since he was in the amateurs, but then when he turned pro, and he's somebody that I've always thought is gonna be a star of the sport. I remember early doors there was question marks about his power, but I look at it as well. I know not everybody's Mayweather, but there are fighters like Mayweather that are world champions and established that aren't big punchers, but the skills are just next level. And the fact that he has that spite, you've seen it a couple of times out of the ring and things like that, and you see that he's got this edge to him. It works for him because he will take you apart, dissect you, and then start punishing you. And then he's got that spite to really he enjoys beating somebody up. He reminded me a lot of how he was when little things that he was doing to Valdez, and you could see that they were working, and he enjoyed seeing that. Naz used to be like that. Naz would toy you with your mind, and I'm talking on a sparring level, with seeing him sparring with him, and he would toy you with you, and you could see that enjoyment, and then it hit you with something spiteful and smile at you and look. And Shakur Stevenson's got that in him, and the skills to burn. He's the best pure boxer that I think is around since Mayweather. I look at what he. Forget about Lomachenko. Lomachenko's a different sort of style. I'm talking about just as in a purist type of boxer. Yeah. Because Lomachenko doesn't do things that purists see.
I get what you're saying.
But I think in terms of in a boxing sense, he reminds me a lot of a young Mayweather as well. Yeah. And like I said, Sam's right when he's saying about the pretty boy. Pretty boy Floyd was a spiteful bastard, and he would go in there to do a job on you. And Shakur, I feel, has got that in him. And in his two biggest tests, Ennis and Valdez, he stepped up to the plate and made it look really, really comfortable. And also, even when he's in that pocket, he looks comfortable. He doesn't panic. He doesn't worry about being in that space. I'm a massive fan of his, and I think he's brilliant. And I expected him to have a breakout performance last night, and he did. But I think it was I didn't expect him to control it from second one. I thought he might have a couple of, when you always say, Brendan used to say to us about people like Valdez, for the first 3 rounds, it's going to be really dangerous. It's going to be on top of you. You just got to be careful the first 3 rounds, and then you can get to work. Well, Valdez didn't even get that. Literally straight away, Shakur came out and was the boss. And he's punching a lot harder than what he used to punch as well. So the feeling the weight of the punches. Again, you don't have to be a one-punch knockout merchant, but you're feeling the weight of those punches. When people say, it's like when people say about Lerone, I can't punch. Oh, just walk through them then. Yeah. If they can't punch, walk through what they're doing. But they can't, because it hurts, because they hit hard enough. And if you hit hard enough and you got the skills as well, then you're a big problem in the divisions.
Yeah, I think one thing that gets me about him is when you look at his age, he doesn't, obviously you'll know more than me, but he doesn't smother his work either. And he's very composed. Like, he doesn't look like his mind's doing overtime. It looks like he knows exactly what's happening throughout the fight. And I just think he looks like he's had 35 fights, 40 fights.
But look at who's around him. He's had Andre Ward around him for years. He's got Terence Crawford around him. Do you know what I mean? When you've got people around you like that, and I'm not talking about just because somebody's a world champion around you doesn't mean that they have the without being disrespectful, the intelligence or the intellect and the ring generalship and the knowledge of of the science of boxing to pass on. There are fighters out there that are world champions that are like kind of like robots, get told what to do. They go in, they work hard, so hard every day, this, and they do it. But then there are fighters like Andre Ward and Terence Crawford that are on another level, intellectually, boxing wise, and mentally, boxing wise. They've had the big fights, they've had those big nights where they've got the step ups and people are writing off, think that it's going to go against them and writing them off. But they've also very, very knowledgeable in how to break opponents down, but keep within your comfort space, do everything on your terms rather than rushing things and taking yourself out of your comfort zone. And you can see that. You can see that Shakur Stevenson's got that, and he's kind of like a hybrid between, those guys that are around him. You see what he's doing. And, some of the performance last night, it reminded me of when Mayweather boxed Arturo Gatti.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not saying Shakur Stevenson is Mayweather. I'm not saying, but I'm saying there are tendencies in him. There are things in him that you can look at and you can say, yeah, very, very similar, and similar mindset as well. I just hope he stays on the rails. I just hope that he keeps living the life and he doesn't get distracted, because when you're that young, what is he, 24 years old?
Yeah, something.
When you're that young and you're that successful, it's easy to get carried away, but it's easy enough to get distracted by the people that are around you if you allow people around you to get too much for a claim on you, pulling you here, going here, going there. It's good. I mean, I saw he proposed to his girlfriend last night. It's good that he's settled. He's got a kid and he's got a missus. So hopefully that helps keep him on the straight and narrow as such. Because when you've got a supreme talent like that at such a young age, a lot of it comes down to what's around them and distractions, because that can stop them. It doesn't mean that they get into trouble. It can just mean that they take the foot off the gas a little bit, and then the influences that have helped get them there, sometimes those influences become a little bit less as the pool becomes bigger of hangers on and people that want to be around you and want your time. But if he can stay dedicated like your Andre Ward, Terence Crawford, Mayweather, if he can keep that level of dedication and focus, then this kid's going to be an absolute superstar. And how far can he go?